when you are in that coldness, the only choice you have is to feel what you are feeling. And you've got to find a way to embrace the magic of being alive, because that's what the cold brings you. It makes you feel yourself for once. We have a lot of distractions, but when we're in the cold, and even when we take cold baths, ice baths, you take that cold plunge, you take that ice plunge, you don't have no choice but to face those feelings and feel them now. And what do? They wake you up. Your blood starts rushing and you start to feel like you're actually here. Whereas before you were just mobbing on by. You kept going. You kept turning that hamster wheel. You kept moving with whatever program that there is locked into your soul. You get to break free from it. Peace and prosperity. Welcome back to Earth's Feminine. This is the channel where you can come and learn all about primal feminine energy, the feminine energy that existed pre-colonization, and all of the conditioning that has been done around what we believe it means to be a woman. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I am no longer going to be transactional on this channel. And really in life, I've had a really deep breakthrough and revelation, multiple revelations, but the first one is how important it is to take time to rest and do nothing, especially when the seasons are calling for it. And right now we're in the winter season. The winter is all about the element of water, and the element of water is the most feminine element. It is pure negative energy. It represents the sacral life force of this world that we live on. And so when we enter into winter, there is a call for reflection. There is a call for sleeping more. As we have less light that touches on the grounds that we walk on, we are also being called to go within and embrace the darkness, which again is also extremely feminine. Darkness represents feminine energy. The void of the cosmos, of the universe, represents feminine energy. And if I had not given myself the permission to do nothing, I feel like I probably would have ignored my body in a lot of ways. I would have neglected my self-care in a lot of ways. I wouldn't have been as sensitive to my emotions and what's going on with me internally. I probably would have ignored it, pushed it under the rug. Oh, whatever, I'm gonna just keep going and keep going and keep going. And this is what I say about when you live in climates that are more tropical, where you don't have a winter and you only have a wet season and a dry season. When you live in a extremely hot area, and for me personally, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. It's tropical there. There are 4 seasons, but it's pretty much, there is no real vast difference between winter and summer like there is here in the Pacific Northwest, which is where I now reside and have been living for the past 7 years. And in the Pacific Northwest, you actually have 4 seasons. You actually have a full summer where the sun is out from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Okay? You actually have a full winter where the sun is out from 6 to 7 a.m. and it goes down at 4 to 5 p.m. Like you feel a difference in the energy because the seasons are more defined. But when you live in a place where the seasons aren't that defined and it's generally just hot and tropical, life is good all the time, what I've noticed is that it can cause people, when they don't live in alignment with the seasons and how you're supposed to eat and how you're supposed to live, and most people don't with the way the modern world is set up. But what I've noticed is when I lived in the South and there was always that heat, there was always that fire, there was always that activity, always things going on. There's never really a really good space and time that, unlike that we get here in the Pacific Northwest, to really just sit down. And when you're always in that activity, when you're always going, when you're always in that heat and partying and excited, when there are things locked and loaded in your subconscious mind, y'all know I don't like that word subconscious because it denotes that the things that are unseen and the emotional realm is somehow below the conscious realm, the awareness of life, the things that we actually can see, touch, and feel, which is another way to unconsciously denote and degrade the importance of feminine energy. So y'all know I don't like that word, but I use it so that for those of you who are new to this space can understand me. The soulful realm, right? I will just call it your moon, right? The lunar realm, which is also ruled by water. This is where all of the things beyond our capacity to understand consciously reside. This is where all of the things that emotionally we are storing, we are holding in our spirit, in our body, in our soul. And when you're always in that fire and in that activity and going, and you never give yourself that space and that time to be in silence, to be barren, and have only yourself, to be, and not saying that, in the wintertime that you're supposed to be alone, but when you are in that coldness, right? The only choice you have when you are in that coldness is to feel what you are feeling. You have no choice. And you've got to find a way to embrace the magic of being alive. Because that's what the cold brings you. It makes you feel alive. It makes you feel yourself for once. All of these distractions, we have a lot of distractions, and that is one way that the fire element and this masculine energy has been used to kind of distort us and distract us from what's really important. But when we're in the cold and we get that space, even when we take cold baths, ice baths, right? This is another aspect of connecting to the water element. You take that cold plunge, you take that ice plunge, you don't have no choice but to face those feelings and feel them now. And what do? They wake you up. They wake you up. Your blood starts rushing and you start to feel like you're actually here again. Whereas before you were just mobbing on by. You kept going. You kept turning that hamster wheel. You kept moving with, what society, whatever it is, program that there is locked into your soul. You get to break free from it. So I'm so grateful for the winter. I'm so grateful for the darkness. I'm so grateful for, having the space and time to be living in a place where there isn't that much sunlight to begin with, but then on top of that, feel the coldness, feel the vast difference of spiritual awakening that comes with being in this kind of environment that I didn't have access to living in the South. And I will say that with that, one of my biggest revelations has been that I am no longer being transactional. I am no longer living my life in a transactional way. I post these videos and I've grown my channel and I've gotten so close to a lot of the goals that I have. But then I realized that, am I satisfied? Do I feel alive? Do I feel connection? Do I feel seen? Because for those of you who have known me and have been following me for, since the beginning of Asaya Mystic, since the beginning of who Asaya Mystic claimed herself to be, which was, almost, I would say, give or take 8 years ago. For those of you who have been there with me since that time, you know that I've abandoned, and removed followers from an Instagram page where I had almost 15,000 followers, And I got to a point where I felt so disconnected from all of those people. They could have been friends. They could have been genuine fans, genuine people who really cared about my work and really connected with the mission that I was on and still partially am on. I felt a huge disconnection with that page, those followers, being online on Instagram. And so I abandoned that page and I started multiple new pages. Still didn't quite get my footing in stepping into a new version or whatever that new chapter was for me. So I continued and I continued and I continued, mainly focusing on my YouTube channel. And even then, I felt like I was so focused on serving and I was so focused on providing value. And I was so focused on, here's the thing that I have that I can teach you, that I can give to you, that I can help you with, that I didn't realize how unrelatable that I was becoming. And not to say that I was fully unrelatable or nobody could relate to me, but the level of fulfillment that I was getting from those videos, posting those videos and showing up, it was, it was still something that I was just like, I'm not fulfilled with this. And so here I am. I created a new channel, Earth's Feminine, and it's been growing like wildfire. And there has been an epic realization on my behalf that If I continue to keep just regurgitating, or not regurgitating, but if I continue to keep just showing up to provide value in whatever way that I think value is supposed to look like, if I just keep showing up trying to give somebody, a handout to what I have, then that's all people are going to come to me for. They're going to come to me for something that they can take, something that they can take from me. And I've realized, and I'm realizing, and I'm embracing, and I'm embodying that is not that's not me. That's not who I originally was in the beginning when I started and became a Siam mystic. And I started my journey into astrology and the metaphysical realm and spiritual coaching and teaching. I was much more free. I was much more free. I was much more alive and open and ready to just plunge into the discovery of myself and allow all that was interested to be a part of that discovery. And that's what I am realizing right now is a very sacred and essential part of me that I abandoned at one point because I believed that I was in survival mode, I guess, to be honest. I was in survival mode and my mind became obscenely obsessed with becoming successful and making money and having the things that I needed. I mean, obviously that's a necessary thing because when you become a single mother, and it's a really huge emotional and spiritual battle that I had to endure just to realize that the real key, the real thing that is of utmost importance is my happiness and how happy I am every single day with how I'm living my life and what I decide to do with my time and my energy, what feeds my soul and what prolongs my life, what sustains me. A lot of the things that do that for me went invalidated as if it was not something that was important by myself and also by the vast majority of people online who want to sell you on this course and that course and how to make this much money and how to do this and how to do that. And I've gotten to a point where it's like none of those things, right? Like none of these things can show me or guide me. Only I can guide myself. Only I can give myself true direction and true wisdom. Only I know what is right for me at any given time. And the less I engage in all of the activity and all of the distractions, and the more permission I have given myself, especially during this winter, to sit back, relax, observe, take care of myself, sleep, renew, imagine, yes, have goals, have dreams, but be satisfied in the imagination of them. Be satisfied in the feeling of them being present. Be satisfied in that. That's enough. Just being in that state and being in that energy has opened up the door to me making some profound realizations. And the biggest one, which I have just shared with you all, is the one where being transactional is no longer the way to go. There must be an element of just showing up and being yourself. Just showing up and shining. And having that be enough. Just showing up and being happy and enjoying myself in whatever it is that I am doing. Let that be enough. That has been my winter revelation. And I'm going to be showing up a lot more raw, a lot more relaxed. I really love to make my videos perfect because I have a Virgo moon. Okay, I have that Virgo in my chart. I really love the energy of just putting my all into the things that I create. And I'm not going to do away with that. But what I will do is I am going to include a lot more of just the real me, my true heart, you know, the things that I do on a day-to-day basis, my weaknesses, my strengths. You know, I want to show up and I want to share everything that I know, but I also want to live. I want to live. I want to live happily, authentically, and let this baby that I have created called Earth's Feminine be an expression of that joy, an expression of that life, that essentially when we tap into that water element, it allows us to be, in joy and pleasure, in happiness, and lots of other emotions. But you can't have the bad emotions without the good, and you can't have the good emotions without the bad. Thank you all for tuning in to this video, and make sure that you sign up for the I Am Earth Mistress class so that you can unlearn and decode any and all internalized misogyny that you may be carrying that is causing you to unconsciously hold yourself back from creating your next level version of yourself and your next level reality in your life. The Mistress class is coming up really soon, and the prices will go up as time passes. So make sure you snag your spot. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all in my next video. Peace.